What is up, guys? This is KOJOFOREX, aka GBP Legend, aka Sniper Trader, aka King of Blues. Today I'm here again with another good video for you guys. So if you want to take your trading level from here to here before the year ends, make sure to watch this video to the end and subscribe to this channel because I have tons of amazing and insane content coming your way before the year ends. Right now, today's topic is trading tips for 2022 that is going to level your trading life up, right? So I know that you guys subscribe to this channel and watch my videos because you want to become better traders and then improve your life through trading. In fact, it has done it for me, and I strongly believe that it can do it for anybody that is well committed to grinding on this craft. Now in this video, we're going to discuss 5 major things that I believe when you give strong focus and consideration to is going to be a big game changer in your trading life. First off, we're going to discuss number 1 thing that you need to take seriously when it comes to your trading life. And it kind of applies generally in life as well, right? Before you can be able to do anything worthwhile for yourself, number 1, you need to believe in yourself. Trading is not an easy thing, just like any other business. In fact, it's one of the most difficult businesses that you could find yourself doing, right? It's like just being a regular student being admitted into a medical school. You should know that, look, no matter how smart, intelligent you are, it's not going to be an easy journey. It's going to be very challenging. I have close friends who are doctors, and trust me, most of them are very smart, but they need to go through thorough process of learning and then, continuous education for about 6 to 7 years before they come out even as, entry-level doctors. It's the same with trading. You cannot just wake up and then think that you're smart, you read business in school, or you've done this and that, you know economics, so all of a sudden you're going to be a good trader. In fact, it doesn't work like that. But nonetheless, if you believe in yourself and then you decide to commit to the craft, which is like the number 1 thing, knowing that, yes, I can make it through trading. If somebody out there has been able to make it through trading, definitely I can also make it through trading. In fact, you're already at that success point. That's just all that is required. Number 1, believing in yourself, right? Believing in myself changed a whole lot for me. In fact, there's going to be times that's going to be challenging, times that's going to be discouraging, times you're going to feel like literally like giving it all up, right? Just because you shake a little bit in your belief in yourself. You're thinking that I've been grinding on this business for the past 2 years, 3 years. It's not working. Like, what should I do? You need to keep up with believing in yourself that, look, I'm smart, I'm capable, I can be able to do this, I can be able to break down any complexity in this market, and so on and so forth, right? Just by having that simple belief system, in fact, you're already certified to have a successful year. So number 1, I urge you to really believe in yourself in the year 2022 that you are going to be one of the very, very best traders out there. Now, second thing that you want to take into deep consideration when you really want to have a successful trading year is that you must stick to one thing. Right now, one thing cuts across everything, right? I have read so many books, especially one of my favorite books that I have read that made a game changer in my life is the One Thing, right? I'll probably leave a link in the description so that you can be able to download the One Thing book, right? But that book will tell you that focusing on one thing can be a game changer in your life. So now that we're talking about trading, you want to focus on one strategy, right? If it's one strategy that you want to learn or one strategy that you want to master, keep mastering one strategy. If it's one asset class, right? Not really diversifying yourself. Today you're watching stock, tomorrow currencies, tomorrow commodities. In fact, unless you are exceptionally good at it, but if you're starting out, then you really want to practice one thing in terms of maybe you want to trade only GBP pairs. So all you got to do is that you're reading about pounds, you're reading about British economy, you're watching British news, you're watching any sensitive information that's coming from the United Kingdom, right? So just because you're focused on the pound pairs, you're doing everything related to pounds. The same way can be applied to, let's say you're focusing on the euro. So anything about euro or gold or anything. So believing in one thing, finding a niche even in the currency market for the start is what will level you up. Eventually, when you gain the experience, you can even broaden your scope to even add on extra currency pairs if you so wish, right? Just like I did. When I started trading, I actually started focusing solely on the pound pairs. I was trading GBP, USD, GBP, AUD, GBP, New Zealand. In fact, just the pound pairs, about 5 of them, and focus on them solely for about 2 years intensively until I gained so much grounds in understanding how this currency market works, especially pertaining to the pounds, and eventually started broadening my scope to trading the euro, trading the Aussie dollar, trading the USD, and so on and so forth, right? So second point is what you want to focus on one thing. Another thing that I can say about focusing on one thing is that if you're following one mentor, you got to follow that one mentor. Maybe you love their style of trading. I'm not saying it must necessarily be me, right? It can be any mentor out there. Once you believe in that person, once you can relate to that person's interpretation of the market, or you fall in love with their trading style, or you can really relate with their trading style and principles, then you want to follow that person alone. You don't want to be really following like 5-6 people. Today you're watching this, today you're hearing this, today. Once you're doing that, you're scattering your knowledge all over, and then it's not going to take you anywhere in that trading life. So you really want to focus your niche on one person. If it's one trading community you want to join, you want to follow that one trading community. You want to really relate and then think deep into how that person thinks. You want to really enter, the mentor's head, right? Entering somebody's head doesn't take a day, doesn't take 2 months, 3 months. It can take a year, 2 years for you to really, if you enter somebody's head, it's almost like acquiring that person's eye. You kind of see things the way the person sees it, and you kind of interpret information the way the person interprets it. And that is one major key that can change the game for you as well. The same relates to even videos that you consume online. If it is one YouTube channel that talks about trading that you really love their content, then you want to stick to that channel. You want to really binge watch everything that they've put out there, and then you can really then eventually relate to the kind of information that this person put out, the interpretation. And if it's something that you know that it has changed your life and it keeps improving your life, then you want to stick to that thing, right? Now, number 3, a very important one, is consider your reality. In fact, with this topic of considering reality, I can really explain in a very diverse way. First off is that you should have a realistic expectation. Most people, when they start trading, they have no realistic expectation at all. In fact, somebody is going to start trading account with $500, and then they're going to say, oh, before the year ends, I'm going to make $1 million from this $500. It's most likely unrealistic, right? It's not something that can come off the guard like that. Taking $500 to $1 million, or even $500,000, it's a wild dream, right? So you want to be really realistic with achieving your goals, in sense as maybe you started trading with $1,000 or $500. You're saying that, okay, before 2022 ends, I want to take this $1,000 to $10,000, or $1,000 to $15,000. That is even insane return, but it is quite realistic than expecting that you're going to take that 1,000 to $1 million or something. Even 5,000 is insanely realistic, because at the end of the day, taking 1,000 to 5,000 means that you literally returned about 40 to 50% of your trading account, which if you had put it in any sort of investment, you're likely to get nothing more than even 15%, right? Even if you're living in the European countries, you're not getting anything more than 2%, right? So you really want to have a realistic expectation, which comes to the fact that you must consider your reality. Now, also talking about considering reality, then you must understand that with experience, someone like me can tell you that market conditions change over time. In fact, in the last 1 year, the market condition has really changed. The kind of opportunities that existed in 2018, 2019, and especially 2020 hardly exist in 2021, and then starting off in 2022. Few times you'd get one good opportunity in the whole week, or maximum 3 opportunities in the whole week. Volatility is very low, and most currency pairs are really ranging. If you look at somebody like me, I used to trade a lot in 2019, 2020, but less of in 2021, and then let's see how 2022 is going to go. But that's only because market conditions have changed, and I have to adapt and then embrace that new condition and adjust myself to how to interpret market information in 2021 and 2022. Now, the idea is that as a trader, one of your main responsibilities is capital preservation, right? You must protect your capital. So at the end of the day, you don't want to just be chasing any sort of opportunity today. You see this, you're buying, you see this, not information that is really giving you that edge in the market. You don't want to really take advantage of edge in the market. Edge is what is going to change the game for you. If you think that any opportunity is, bankable, or any opportunity is worth taking, then you're just exposing yourself to any random thing that comes across your way in the market. And trust me, long-term wise, it's not sustainable. Long-term wise, you want to build your edge on finding high probability things that have the market aligned in your favor, and chances of failure is very minimal in terms of the trading setup. So still in the bracket of considering your reality, the one I want to tell you is that once you're trading and you realize that, okay, maybe in 2020 I used to get like 10 opportunities in a week, but this time market conditions have changed, so I'm really getting like 5 or 4 or 3. Don't force things, just adjust and adapt, and then embrace that reality and tweak it a bit in a way that is going to favor you. Maybe if 2020 you were getting 10 opportunities, so because of that you were really like risking, let's say like 1% per position or 2%, just because in 2021 or getting into 2022 you're not really getting as much opportunities as possible. Like now you're getting like 4 opportunities, 3 opportunities. You can really increase that risk size or risk management, right? Let's say from 1% to now 3 or 4% per trade, right? Just because you know that because of market conditions, you don't don't really get a lot good opportunities coming your way like that. So the few ones that you get, you want to take massive advantage of them, which literally brings us to the fourth point, which is less is more, right? From experience, I can tell you that less is more in this market. Not just because you've been able to load about 20 to 200 currency pairs that you're watching means that you're going to have all the opportunities and be able to make the most money out of the market, right? Less is more. I know very, very good traders like Jeffrey Benson. Shout out to Jeffrey Benson. Subscribe to his channel. He only trades GBP USD, right? Jeffrey Benson only trades GBP USD. And then why is he trading only GBP USD? You might think that there are so many currency pairs, about 50 of them, but this guy is really trading just one, and he's doing incredibly well just focusing on one. So here it cuts across the bracket of what? Less being more, focusing on few things and then hampering much on it to be able to take massive advantage out of it as well. It also has to do with the number of trades you take at a time, right? So if you're trading, you don't really want to be stacking thousands of positions and thinking that just because you're stacking thousands of positions, you're going to make much money, right? If it goes sour, likely chances are you're going to even blow out your whole account. So focus on taking few opportunities, but taking massive advantage of those few opportunities, and then using proper risk management, reasonable lot sizes that is going to produce reasonable gains as well. In all, lastly, we're going to talk about what? Consistency. In fact, consistency is key and consistency is contagious. Now that you've learned all the 5 steps, the last one that you want to learn and focus on, because without the last one, every other of the 4 is literally useless, is that you got to be consistent with your decision. So if you are listening to the first one, which is believe in yourself, second one, sticking to one thing, third one, consider your reality, fourth, less is more, and then fifth one, consistency. If you don't follow consistency, all the 1, 2, 3, 4 we have listed is literally useless. So you want to be consistent from day one. It start like today. You got to write it in your diary. If you're using a notepad in your phone, you got to write it in it that this year I'm going to follow these rules that I've set up for myself. I'm going to be very consistent. I'm going to be very committed to my craft, and then repeat it. In fact, I was having a conversation with one of my mentees, Aram Della. Shout out to Aram as well. He helped me set this whole thing up, right? And I was telling him that, look, if you can make $1, what can you make? Then he was saying $1 million. I'm like, look, you got to really focus on your reality. Which is like, you cannot just say just because you made $1 you can make $1 million. That's like too far off, right? If you're following the curve, it's like all the way from the bottom and then boom, over the roof, right? So you can say that if you can make $1, then you can make 1,000. Then you can level up and say if you can make 1,000, then you can make 10,000. Then if you can make 10,000, you can make 100,000. If you can make 100,000, you obviously can make $1 million. Right? So you can only do this with consistency. I was speaking with him in terms of his, diversification and then streams of income. And then he showed me one stream of income where he did insanely well with that field. He made money and then literally forgot about it. And I'm like, look, if you have been able to make this amount of money from here, know that you can take it 10x, 20x, right? So once you've been able to make $1 in any field, you can make 10 more, 20 more, and so on. But it only comes with consistency and staying true to the grind. So like I said, everything in this thing that we discussed, from your trading knowledge, consistency, sticking to one thing and all that, if you don't follow that rules of being consistent and then staying true to that grind, everything that we've learned is literally going to be utterly useless, right? Now this brings us to the end of the discussion. I hope these 5 steps really improves your trading life for 2022, and I wish that before this year ends, you're obviously going to be the best of trader, and then you can be able to come back to me and message me on Instagram, anywhere, that Kojo, thanks for this video. Kojo, thanks for this principle that you laid out here early on in this year. It took my trading level from here to here, and I'm now a better person, and that brings me so much joy, right? So you can click in the link in the description to connect with me on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever, and also click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community. 2022 is going to be insanely massive. 2022, I have tons of plans that I'm going to lay out, but I'm not going to share all those details now. You're going to see them for yourself. Eventually, when they come into fruition, we'll talk more about them. Without wasting more time, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I'll connect with you guys again sooner than you think. Peace out.